I lay on the narrow hospital bed, staring at the ceiling lights. My hands shook, but I forced my voice to stay calm. "You're going to be fine," she said, squeezing my fingers. "I know," I lied. "Just don't leave, okay?" She smiled. "I'm right here." I wanted to believe that smile. I always did. "I've never been good with hospitals," I said. "Feels like once you're here, life can flip in seconds." She brushed my hair back. "You're stronger than you think." "Only because you stayed," I said. She laughed softly. "We've been together 3 years. I'm not running now." Those words wrapped around me like a promise. I held on to them harder than the pain in my chest. "I gave up a lot for us," I said quietly. "I know," she replied. "And I appreciate it." I looked at her face, trying to read it. "Sometimes I feel like I give more than I get." She frowned. "That's not true. Isn't it?" She hesitated, then said, "You're my safe place." Hearing that made my chest ache in a good way. "Then stay," I whispered. She nodded. "I will." A nurse stepped in. "I'm Nurse Helen," she said gently. "We need a few signatures." "Is the surgery really that serious?" I asked. She met my eyes. "It's risky, but manageable. Staying calm helps." My girlfriend reached for the papers. Nurse Helen added, "Only one visitor is allowed during prep." "I'm not going anywhere," she said quickly. I exhaled. Her phone buzzed. She ignored it. It buzzed again. I joked, "Guess the world wants you." She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "It's nothing," she said. "Is it him?" I asked before I could stop myself. She stiffened. "Why would you ask that?" "You said he still texts sometimes." "He doesn't matter," she said too fast. Another buzz. I tightened my grip on her hand. "Just don't disappear." She kissed my forehead. "I promise." Nurse Helen cleared her throat. "We need those signatures now." My girlfriend looked at her phone one more time, and it kept vibrating. "I don't like that sound," I said. She sighed. "You're overthinking." "Maybe," I said. "But tonight feels different." She checked the screen. "It's just my mom." "You'd answer if it was," I replied. She looked away. "I don't want to worry her." I swallowed. "You promised me honesty." "I am being honest," she said, sharper now. Nurse Helen watched us quietly. "You love me, right?" I asked. She paused. "Of course I do." That pause mattered, I said. "You're scared," she said. "That's all." "I'm scared of losing you," I admitted. She softened. "You won't." "Say it without looking at your phone," I said. She met my eyes. "I'm here." The phone buzzed again. Her fingers trembled. "Who is it?" I asked. She whispered, "It's complicated." "That's not an answer," I said. She rubbed her temples. "He's in trouble." My chest tightened. "Your ex?" She nodded once. "I thought he didn't matter," I said. "He doesn't," she said. "Not like you." "Then turn it off," I said. She didn't. Nurse Helen spoke gently. "We need to move soon." I felt panic rise. "Stay with me," I said again. She hesitated. That hesitation cut deeper than any scalpel. "I'll be right outside," she said. "That's not what I asked," I replied. She leaned down. "I just need a minute." My voice cracked. "Please." She kissed my cheek instead of answering. As she stepped back, her phone vibrated non-stop, and I knew something was already breaking. Nurse Helen held the clipboard between us. "We really can't wait," she said. My girlfriend took it with shaking hands. "I'll be quick," she told me. "Quick isn't the same as staying," I said. She didn't respond. The pen scratched loudly. I watched her sign like it was a goodbye. "You're my person," I said softly. She froze. "I don't want to lose you," I added. She whispered, "I won't lose you." Her phone buzzed again, louder this time. She flinched. Nurse Helen met my eyes with quiet concern. "We'll take care of you," she said. I nodded, even as my trust began to slip. The hallway felt suddenly far away. Machines beeped around me. I reached for her hand one last time. She squeezed back, distracted. Her phone kept vibrating, and fear settled deep in my chest. I told myself to trust her, even as the night whispered warnings I wasn't ready to hear at that moment. I heard my phone buzz first, but it wasn't mine, it was hers. She glanced at the screen, her smile fading the instant her eyes met it. "Who is it?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "It's nothing," she said quickly, but her hands trembled slightly. "Tell me," I urged. "Please." She swallowed. "It's him." My stomach dropped. "Him?" She nodded, looking guilty. He's been rushed into emergency surgery. Same hospital." "What?" I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "He's here. Now." "Yes." Her voice was quiet, almost apologetic. "So, you're leaving me?" The words escaped before I could stop them. I need to check on him," she said softly. "Check on him?" I repeated, disbelief sharpening my voice. "I'm the one in surgery. I'm scared, and you're leaving me to see him." It's complicated," she said, glancing away. "Complicated?" I demanded. "I trusted you. I held your hand while we talked about how we'd face things together." I know," she said quickly. "I'm sorry. Her voice trailed off. "Just what? Go to someone who doesn't even care about you like I care about you?" I choked. "It's not like that," she insisted, tears welling in her eyes. I need to be there. Need to be there." I laughed bitterly. "I'm here. Right here. I'm the one who could have your hand. I'm the one who's scared for my life." She flinched, but her face remained soft. "I'll be right back. I promise." "You've said that before," I said, gripping her arm. "But promises don't mean anything if you walk out the door." "I won't be long," she whispered. I tried to force a smile, even as my chest felt hollow. "Fine. Go. Just don't pretend you're not leaving me." Her fingers brushed mine as she let go. "I love you. I'll be back." I watched her walk toward the door, each step a punch to my gut. I wanted to call after her. I wanted to beg her to stay. But all I could do was lie back on the bed, clutching the thin blanket like it could hold me together. Minutes passed. The beeping of the monitors became my only companion. I tried her number. No answer. Again. And again. My chest ached worse than the pain from my injury. "Why?" I whispered to the empty room. "Why him?" A soft knock interrupted me. "I'm Dr. Malik," the man said, standing at the door with a clipboard. "Time for prep." "I'll be ready," I said, my voice cracking. "You'll do fine," he said professionally, not waiting for conversation. He didn't offer comfort, didn't acknowledge the tears I refused to wipe. He just gestured toward the stretcher. I slid my legs over the side of the bed, numb inside. I trusted her, I muttered under my breath. "Come on now," Dr. Malik said, guiding me. "Let's get you ready." As I was wheeled down the hallway, I thought about her. The way she promised me she'd stay. The way she kissed my forehead and said everything would be okay. And now? She wasn't even here. Not really. I called her again, my hands shaking. Still no answer. I left messages she would never see in time. The silence echoed louder than the hospital monitors. A nurse wheeled me into prep, and Dr. Malik's calm, detached voice gave instructions. Breathe. Relax. We'll take care of everything. I nodded but didn't breathe. My mind kept returning to her words, her eyes, the fleeting promise that I would be her first choice. She wasn't. She'd already left me behind for him. Ready? Dr. Malik asked, adjusting my fore. As I'll ever be, I muttered. The bed moved. The hallway blurred past. I gripped the sides like it was a lifeline. And in that moment, alone on the stretcher, the truth hit me. I wasn't her first choice. Never had been. Never would be. I closed my eyes and whispered into the sterile air, I trusted you. I really trusted you. The doors to the operating room closed behind me, and the emptiness of her absence followed me like a shadow I couldn't shake. I woke up to the hum of machines and the sharp sting of pain, and the first thing I noticed was that I was alone. Hello? I croaked, my voice hoarse. No answer. I reached for my phone. Nothing. Not a single message. Not one missed call. Where are you? I whispered, but it was the machines that answered me with their steady beeps. A nurse walked past, talking quietly with someone behind the curtain. Rush to Ward 3, visitors everywhere, just got here. I froze. Ward 3. He must be there. My chest tightened. I pulled the blanket tighter around me. Why didn't she wait? I muttered to myself. I needed her. My head throbbed, my body a dull ache, but the emptiness in my chest felt heavier than any pain. A voice spoke from the other side of the curtain. Hey, you awake? I blinked. A man in the bed beside me looked at me with tired eyes. Yeah, I croaked. I'm Asif, he said. New roommate. Been here a few days. Right, I muttered. I'm recovering. He nodded slowly. Looks rough. You have no idea, I muttered, my throat tight. No one does. He shrugged. Some people come and go. Doesn't mean they matter. I frowned. What's that supposed to mean? Love, friendship, doesn't count if they leave when you're down. His voice was quiet, steady, almost like he'd been through the same thing. I looked away, trying to swallow the lump in my throat. I thought she cared. Maybe she did. But she didn't stay. That's the part that counts. I closed my eyes and tried to remember the last time I had felt safe in her presence. The hospital lights flickered through my memory, her hand in mine, her soft voice telling me it would be okay. And then, gone. I should have seen the signs, I muttered. All the times I ignored the phone, the secret smiles, the little excuses. Asif didn't respond at first. Then he said quietly, you only see it when it hurts the most. I wanted to shout, but the pain in my chest made my voice catch. I gave everything, every ounce of me, and she left. She left me here alone. He tilted his head. And you're still breathing. That says something. I shook my head. It shouldn't matter. I feel like I'm nothing without her. Asif leaned back. You're something. You're just realizing the difference between people who stay for the easy parts and people who stay through the hard ones. His words hit harder than I expected. I turned to him, voice trembling. So, what, I should just forget her? No, he said calmly. You should forget that she ever had a choice. Real love doesn't leave you at your weakest. I wanted to argue. I wanted to say she loved me. But deep down, I knew he was right. What do I do now? I whispered. I feel broken. He shrugged again. Start with surviving. That's enough for today. I looked around the room, at the sterile walls and the humming machines. Alone. But not helpless. Not entirely. You're right, I said quietly, almost to myself. I can survive this. Asif nodded, a small smile tugging at his lips. One day at a time. That's all anyone can do. I swallowed hard, tears welling in my eyes. I trusted her, so completely. And she didn't deserve it, he said softly. I let the words sink in. Alone, in pain, with nobody answering my calls, I felt the weight of betrayal. But for the first time, I realized that my life wasn't over. My love had failed me, but I hadn't failed myself. I closed my eyes and whispered into the quiet room, I'll survive, even if she doesn't come back. Asif turned toward his own window, letting me have my silence. I stayed awake, thinking about every memory I had with her, every laugh, every promise, and realizing that love that abandons you at your lowest isn't love at all. And in that stillness, I decided I wouldn't beg for someone who left. Not now. Not ever. The moment I saw her in the doorway, my chest tightened. She looked different. Distracted. Distant. I came to see you, she said softly. Just came. I asked, my voice shaking. After everything? Her eyes flicked away. I had to. To him. I spat, unable to stop the words. She flinched. I stayed with him last night. I froze. My stomach sank. You, what? I didn't mean to hurt you, she said quickly. I was confused. Confused? I laughed bitterly. Confused? Do you know what it feels like to wake up in pain, alone, and hear nothing from the person you trusted most? I know, she whispered, tears brimming. I just. No, I cut her off. Don't. Don't you dare tell me you care while leaving me for him. I didn't leave for him, she said, pleading. I didn't know what I was feeling. You didn't know what you were feeling. I repeated, voice rising. I was here. Scared out of my mind. You promised me honesty. I know. I know I promised, she said, her hands shaking. But I felt torn. I didn't want to hurt anyone. I didn't want to make a choice. Not make a choice. I asked, the words cold. You made a choice the moment you walked out. You chose him over me. Over us. I thought I could handle it, she whispered. Handle it? I leaned closer, my voice raw. Handle it while I was the one who needed you. You call that handling it? She flinched and turned her gaze downward. I'm sorry. I let out a long, bitter laugh. Sorry doesn't cut it. You don't get to apologize for abandoning me. She swallowed hard. I was scared. I didn't know. You didn't know. I shouted. I knew. I knew I could be alone, and I begged you not to leave. But you did anyway. A pause followed. We didn't speak, just the faint hum of the machines filling the room. Then Nurse Clara appeared, walking toward us with a clipboard. Ah, there you are, she said casually. I was about to check on your visitor. I narrowed my eyes. What do you mean, check on her? Clara glanced at my girlfriend, then back at me. Well, she stayed with her ex through the night. Left him mid-surgery. Apparently, he walked out on his own and vanished. No one seems to know where he went. I blinked, stunned. He walked out. Yep, Clara said matter-of-factly. Seems he didn't even wait for her. And she came here after realizing he was gone. My stomach twisted. So, she chose someone who wouldn't even stay for her. Clara shrugged gently. Life's ironic like that sometimes. You can't fix someone else's mistakes. You can only survive your own. I turned back to her, my voice quieter now, empty. You knew he wouldn't even stay, didn't you? She shook her head. I didn't think. Don't, I said sharply. Don't speak. She stepped closer. Please. I held up my hand. No. I've begged enough. I've cried enough. I've waited enough. I can't do this anymore. No, I interrupted again. I trusted you. I believed in us. I gave everything. And this is what I get. Confusion and excuses. Her eyes filled with tears, but I couldn't look at her. Not really. My chest ached, a hollow weight pressing down. I felt something inside me shut down. All the pleading, all the begging, all the hope, I let it die quietly. I'm done asking, I whispered, voice low but steady. I'm done hoping. I can't be someone's choice only when it's convenient. You don't understand. I do, I said, finally turning to her. I understand perfectly. You chose someone who wouldn't even stay. And that's your truth. I don't need to hear another excuse. She opened her mouth, but I didn't let her finish. Clara watched silently, her presence steady, almost like an anchor. Sometimes, she said quietly, the truth is the only medicine that works. Even if it hurts. I nodded, swallowing hard. Yeah, the truth hurts more than anything else. My eyes wandered to the machines, the sterile walls, the sunlight filtering through the window. The room was silent, except for the soft beeping. I realized then that I wasn't begging anymore. I wasn't pleading. I wasn't broken in the way I thought I was. I was awake. I was seeing everything clearly. She remained there, tears glistening, trying to explain herself, but I didn't hear her anymore. Not really. Because the truth had already spoken. And I couldn't go back. I waited for her to say something. Anything. I expected tears, excuses, even anger. But she said nothing. So, what now? She asked finally, her voice small, uncertain. I looked at her calmly. Nothing. I'm done. Done. Her eyes widened. You're not angry. I am, I said softly, but that's not the point. I'm done trying to fix something that was never mine to fix. You're just leaving. Yes. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. My calm was louder than any shouting could be. I can't keep hoping you'll choose me when you've already made your choice. Her lips quivered. I didn't mean to. I know, I interrupted gently. But knowing doesn't change anything. She stared at me, and for the first time, I realized she didn't know what to do with this silence. No pleading, no begging, no yelling, just me. Gone from the fight she thought she controlled. She started again, but I shook my head. Don't. I'm walking away now. The hospital corridor felt impossibly long as I wheeled my Ford drip along, each step heavy with my body's weakness, but my mind felt lighter than it had in weeks. Are you okay? A nurse asked. I will be, I said quietly, not because I was fine, but because I was finally starting to be okay with being alone. Later, when I got home to my cousin Sarah's apartment, she didn't ask a lot. She never did. She just opened the door and said, "Come in. Sit. Breathe." I don't even know where to start, I muttered, dropping my bag. You start with you, she said simply, helping me onto the couch. The rest will come later. I leaned back, letting the weight of everything crash over me. I trusted her, more than I should have. Sarah nodded. Trust is never a mistake if it teaches you something. I let out a shaky laugh. Feels like my mistake taught me how much it hurts. That's the thing, she said, resting a hand on mine. Pain is the teacher. Not the person who caused it. I looked at her, really looked. Calm, grounded, steady. Sarah had always been like that. She didn't judge. She didn't lecture. She just was there. Therapy starts tomorrow, she said, noticing my hesitation. It's time to rebuild. Step by step. I don't even know if I can, I admitted. Yes, you can, she said. You survived betrayal, surgery, and heartbreak. That's strength. You just don't see it yet. I stared at my hands. I don't feel strong. You feel broken, she corrected. But broken can be rebuilt. You don't need revenge. You need yourself. I nodded slowly. Revenge feels empty anyway. Exactly, she said. Distance teaches more than fighting ever will. I took a deep breath. For the first time, I let myself imagine a life without her controlling every thought. No messages to answer, no fears to soothe, no heartstrings tugged by someone who didn't stay. Can I start over? I asked, almost afraid of her answer. Sarah smiled. You don't start over. You start forward. You heal, you grow, you survive. That's enough. I let out another shaky breath, feeling a strange calm settle over me. My body was still weak. My chest still ached. But my mind was beginning to feel alive again. I'll try, I said softly. I'll really try this time. That's all I ask, she said. One day at a time. No looking back. I nodded. One day at a time. Later that night, I sat by the window, watching the city lights. Memories of her haunted me, the hand I held, the words she whispered, the promises that meant nothing. But I didn't feel like crying anymore. Not yet. I realized the most powerful choice wasn't revenge. It wasn't even anger. It was walking away. Choosing myself over the chaos she left behind. And for the first time, I felt like I could breathe again. I'm done, I whispered to the empty room. And I'll survive without you. Sarah peeked in, smiling softly. Good. That's exactly the first step. I leaned back, closing my eyes. Alone, yes. But not broken. Not anymore. I woke up one morning, sunlight spilling across the apartment, and realized I hadn't thought about her in hours. Not in panic, not in anger, not in hope. That in itself felt like a small victory. Sarah handed me coffee. You're looking better, she said, smiling. More like yourself. I feel better, I admitted. Like I can breathe again. That's good, she said. Don't rush it, but it's nice to see you standing on your own. Weeks passed. I returned to work, slowly, deliberately. Each day I built a routine, small victories stacking until they felt like mountains climbed. One afternoon, a mutual friend approached me. Hey, just so you know, I heard about her, they said cautiously. I raised an eyebrow. Oh. Things didn't go well, they said carefully. Her ex. Gone. She drained her savings helping him. And work, she's barely keeping up. It's rough. I nodded slowly, sipping my coffee. I see. You don't feel anything, they asked, surprised. I don't celebrate, I said quietly. But I don't feel sorry for her either. I just moved on. She's lucky you're not, worse, they said softly. Maybe, I admitted. But I don't want to be worse. That's the whole point. Back at my desk, I started writing new goals, things I wanted to accomplish. Not for anyone else. For me. Morning, a voice said. I looked up. Lena, a coworker from the other team, was standing there with a folder in hand. Hey, I said, setting down my pen. You wanted those reports? She asked politely, holding them out. Yeah, thank you, I said, taking them. Something about her calm professionalism felt different. I just thought I'd make it easier, she said with a small smile. You did, I replied. Appreciate it. We talked briefly about deadlines, projects, and nothing personal. It was refreshing, this lack of emotional baggage. No tension. No games. Just respect. You always work like this? She asked, glancing at my workspace. Mostly, I said. I like structure. Me too, she said. It keeps things sane. I smiled faintly. Yeah. Sanity feels nice. Later, during lunch, Lena joined me. Mind if I sit? Not at all, I said, surprised but welcoming. We ate quietly at first, then she asked, how've you been holding up? I hesitated, then shrugged. Better. Slowly. I'm learning to put myself first. That's smart, she said. I think people forget that sometimes. Yeah, I said. I realized respect matters. Simple respect. Someone noticing you, treating you like a human being. My voice trailed off. Lena nodded. It's rare, isn't it? But worth finding. I smiled. Yeah. It really is. She laughed softly. Glad you agree. That night, I texted Sarah, feeling good. Really good. She replied instantly, I'm proud of you. You're finally seeing it. I didn't feel the need to check for messages from her anymore. I didn't crave them. The distance that had once hurt like a knife now felt like armor. Weeks went by. I ran in the mornings, worked in the afternoons, and spent evenings reading or talking with Sarah. I even started sketching again, a hobby I had abandoned during the chaos. One evening, Lena popped by my desk. Hey, just wanted to ask, are you going to that networking event tomorrow? Yeah, I said, surprised she remembered. I wasn't sure at first. You should go. You'll meet people who see your worth, she said sincerely. Thanks, I said quietly. I appreciate that. After she left, I leaned back and closed my eyes. Weeks ago, I couldn't have imagined a day where I felt this, neutral. Balanced. Even in pain, I had clarity now. Her absence no longer haunted me. I thought about the rumors, the ex disappearing, her savings gone, her career stumbling, and a strange calm settled over me. I didn't rejoice. I didn't gloat. I simply let it exist without letting it touch me. I whispered to myself, karma moves quietly. I don't have to. It does its work on its own. And for the first time in months, I felt no anger, no longing, only focus. On me. On my life. On the small victories that were mine and mine alone. Respect. Self-worth. Strength. I had begun to rebuild them all, brick by brick, day by day. And I knew, deep down, that I would never let anyone make me feel small again. I was sketching at my desk when the door creaked open. I didn't look up immediately. Then I heard it, soft, uneven sobs. Hey, her voice trembled. I froze, pen in midair. My chest tightened, not with panic, not with anger, but with a strange sense of clarity. I need to talk to you, she said, her words broken by quiet crying. I finally looked up. She was standing there, hair messy, eyes red and swollen. What are you doing here? I asked calmly. I messed everything up, she admitted. He left me. In the middle of recovery. He blocked me. I don't know what to do. I set my pen down. So, you came here. Yes, she whispered, taking a tentative step forward. Please, can you forgive me? Can we try again? I stayed seated, still. My voice didn't tremble. I need you to understand something first. Her lower lip trembled. I understand if you hate me. I just. Don't speak yet, I said softly. Listen. She nodded, tears streaming down her face. I trusted you, I began, slowly, each word precise. I held your hand when I was scared. I let you into every part of me, every vulnerable moment. And you left. Not because you were forced, not because of circumstances beyond control, but because you chose someone else over me. Her hands shook. I know. Stop. My voice was quiet, firm. Don't explain. Don't apologize again. Just hear me. She swallowed hard, nodding. I woke up after surgery alone, I continued. Machines beeping, pain stabbing me in every direction, and not a single call, not a single message from you. The emptiness I felt, more than the physical pain, was seeing the person I trusted most choosing to be somewhere else. That's the truth of it. That's what I lived. I didn't think. You didn't think, I repeated, softer this time, almost like I was talking to myself. But thinking isn't enough. Love isn't supposed to leave you at your weakest. And you did. You walked out. And then, the person you ran to. He didn't even stay. He left you. Blocked you. And now you've come here, crying, asking for what? My forgiveness? My trust? She nodded, words choking in her throat. Yes, please. I can't live without you. I was wrong. I was so wrong. I shook my head slowly. You were wrong. Yes. But do you know what else I realized while you were gone? What? She whispered. I realized I don't need anyone to validate me. I don't need someone to stay because they feel guilty or afraid. I've spent weeks rebuilding myself. Learning to breathe without you. Learning that respect and love can't come from someone who leaves when it's inconvenient. Her shoulders slumped. But I love you. I always. Love? I said softly. Do you even understand what that word means? It's not promises when convenient, not apologies after the fact. It's standing beside someone when they're scared, when they're broken, when they need you most. And you weren't there. She cried harder, whispering my name. Please. I'll do anything. Just give me another chance. I leaned back, hands folded calmly in my lap. My voice didn't rise, it didn't shake. I'm not angry. I'm not trying to punish you. I'm simply done. I can't give you my trust, my love, or my life again. Not after what you did. You asked for me once, and I gave everything. But now, I choose me. She froze, her tears continuing, but no words coming. I'm calm, I said, my tone quiet, almost gentle. Because I've learned something you never gave me the chance to see. I don't need someone who leaves at their weakest. I don't need someone who makes me question my worth. And I won't let anyone, do that to me again. Her lips quivered. You can't just walk away. I already have, I said softly, the power in my words not loud, but undeniable. Emotionally. Mentally. I've walked away already. You're seeing me now, but the real me has moved on. She sank onto the chair across from me, finally silent, broken. I'm sorry, she whispered again, almost to herself this time. I know, I said quietly. But sorry doesn't bring back the nights I spent alone, the fear I carried, the trust you shattered. You can't undo that. And I won't pretend it didn't happen. She looked up once, eyes pleading, but I didn't flinch. I didn't soften. I only held her gaze for a moment, letting her understand that my silence was my final answer. I hope you're happy, she whispered, defeated. I will be, I said firmly. Because now, I choose me. And in that moment, the power shifted completely. I was no longer the one waiting, pleading, or hoping. I was free. I sat at my desk, the city lights spilling through the window, and I thought about forgiveness. Could I forgive her? Maybe. Someday. But I realized something important: closure doesn't require reconciliation. I didn't need her back to feel whole. I didn't need an apology to stop carrying the weight. I reached for a notebook and pen. Maybe writing this will help, I whispered to myself. Dear. I paused, shaking my head slightly. I didn't even want to name her. I began anyway. I trusted you. I gave everything. You left when I needed you most. I don't need to tell you how that felt because you already know. Or maybe you don't. Maybe that's the difference between us. I scribbled quickly, letting the words pour out. I'm not writing this for you. I'm writing it for me. I don't need your understanding, your apology, or your love. I need my own peace. I need to let go of the part of me that begged, the part of me that hoped, the part of me that carried your absence like a stone in my chest. I stopped, rereading what I wrote. The words stung, but they also freed me. Why do I even bother? I muttered aloud. Because I had to. Because I can't carry this inside forever. I wrote, I won't forget. Some memories will always hurt. But I choose to live beyond them. I choose myself. I choose the person I am becoming, not the person I was when I needed you. I am done waiting. I am done pleading. I am done hoping for something you never could give. I paused again. The silence in my apartment was soothing. Sarah had gone to bed hours ago. Lena had sent a polite text about tomorrow's meeting. The world was quiet, and I could finally hear my own thoughts. I hope you find your own peace too, I wrote, almost automatically. But I don't need to be part of it. I am enough without you. I have learned strength, patience, and clarity. I will move forward. I will not look back. I set the pen down and closed the notebook. I would never send it. It wasn't meant for her. It was a message to myself, a marker of the end of something that had held too much power over me for too long. I whispered softly, closure doesn't need forgiveness. Not yet. Not ever. A thought struck me. I'm free. The words didn't sound dramatic. They didn't sound triumphant. They sounded quiet, steady, real. Free from expectation, free from longing, free from heartbreak. I remembered all the nights I had waited, alone in that hospital bed. All the tears, the panic, the fear. I remembered waking up from surgery, numb, betrayed, and desperate for a hand to hold. And now. I didn't need anyone's hand. I had my own strength. I had my own voice. I smiled faintly. I survived. I survived everything you left me with. I leaned back in my chair, watching the city move below me. The lights blurred softly. I felt no hatred, no desire for revenge. Only clarity. Only understanding. I whispered again, this time more firmly. I am not her choices. I am not her betrayal. I am me. And I am enough. I thought about Lena, about Sarah, about the small routines I had rebuilt, the sketches I was completing, the therapy sessions that were slowly shaping me into someone I respected. Life was still messy, still unpredictable, but it was mine. I could feel it in my chest, steady, warm, alive. I opened the notebook again, writing a single line, I let go. Not for her. For me. I read it twice, slowly. The words didn't make me cry. They didn't make me feel bitter. They made me feel powerful in the quietest way possible. I whispered one last time, I'm done. Truly done. And for the first time in months, I could breathe without the weight of her absence pressing down on me. I could think of the future without shadows from the past. I could imagine happiness without her involvement. I closed the notebook for good and placed it on the shelf. The letter would stay there forever, unread by anyone but me. A reminder that I survived betrayal, heartbreak, and abandonment. A reminder that I could move forward without needing her validation or her return. I leaned back in the chair, arms resting on the desk, and smiled softly. I choose me, I whispered into the quiet room. And with that, I finally felt the calm of closure. I walked past the hospital today. Not the hurried, shaky steps of the past, but slow, deliberate ones. The doors gleamed under the sunlight, the same doors I had walked out of months ago, heart in pieces, fear in every step. Funny, isn't it? I whispered to myself, smiling faintly. Same place, different me. I paused outside, hands in my pockets. The memories tried to creep in, the fear, the loneliness, the sound of machines beeping, and the absence of her hand. But they didn't sting the way they used to. They were lessons now, not wounds. A nurse walked by. She glanced at me. Hey, long time, she said with a small smile. Yeah, I replied. It's been a while. She nodded, not pressing further. Just another reminder that life moves forward, that people move on. I leaned against the wall for a moment, thinking about all I had survived. I remembered her leaving, the ex who vanished, the nights I cried alone, the emptiness that had once threatened to swallow me. I survived, I said aloud, softly but firmly. I survived what tried to break me. I walked further down the street, each step lighter than the last. My phone buzzed, a message from Lena. Coffee after work? I smiled. Yeah. I'll go, I whispered. Simple. No tension. No need to overthink. I could enjoy this, now. Sarah's words echoed in my mind. One day at a time. No looking back. And I wasn't. I had rebuilt routines, rebuilt my body, rebuilt my mind. Therapy had helped, sketches had helped, and quiet moments alone had helped more than I ever expected. Funny, I muttered as I passed a cafe we used to visit, how life keeps moving whether you want it to or not. I sipped my coffee, smiling at the simplicity of the moment. Lena laughed at something small I said, and I realized I could enjoy laughter without guilt, without shadows lurking behind it. Later, walking home, I passed a street artist sketching the city skyline. I stopped, watching, and whispered, I get it now. Every line, every stroke, it's yours. You choose it. You control it. No one controlled me anymore. No one dictated my worth. No one held the power to ruin my day, my confidence, my life. I had it all back. Slowly, quietly, deliberately. I remembered writing that letter I never sent. The one I poured every raw emotion into. I smiled faintly. I didn't need it to reach her. I didn't need it to change her. I needed it for me. And it had worked. I am enough, I whispered, louder this time, letting it echo against the buildings. I am enough, and I always will be. Night fell, and I walked past the hospital again, the doors glowing under the streetlights. No fear. No heartbreak. Only peace. I thought about revenge for a moment, briefly. A cold momentary thought. But I shook my head. That was never the goal. Revenge is loud, consuming, and hollow. I didn't need it. I had chosen me instead. That choice was quieter, slower, but infinitely stronger. Sarah's voice whispered in memory, pain is the teacher. Not the person who caused it. I smiled, thinking of her. I had learned the lesson, and now I could live the life I wanted without carrying her absence as a weight. At home, I sketched for a while, each line confident, steady. Each stroke reminded me I was building something that belonged only to me: strength, independence, clarity. I didn't need anyone else to approve, to validate, or to love me. I had learned to do that myself. I remembered waking up alone, the fear, the tears, the panic, and I didn't feel bitterness. Only gratitude that I had made it through. I had survived. Not because someone stayed for me. Not because someone apologized. Not because the world had been fair. I survived because I chose to stand back up, to trust myself, and to walk away from what didn't serve me. I am stronger than I thought, I whispered, closing the sketchbook. Healthier. Wiser. Alive. I looked at the city skyline through my window, lights twinkling like stars. Quiet strength settled over me, calm and steady. No shouting, no revenge, no pleading. Just me, complete, whole, and finally at peace. I survived, I whispered one last time. I survived, and nothing can take that away. And in that moment, I knew the truth: victory wasn't about making her regret. Victory wasn't about watching karma unfold. Victory was about choosing myself, about moving forward, about finally being free. I smiled, leaning back, closing my eyes, and letting the calm wash over me. I didn't need anything else. I had survived what tried to break me. And that was enough.